We are in Seaforth, Nova Scotia at Hope for Wildlife, and I'm joined by Hope herself, Hope Schwinnemer. And it's a very unusual situation here in September. We've had a bit of a baby boom.
We have, and it's not often that you associate babies with September.
That is very unusual. But why is this happening?
I mean, there could be a lot of things that attribute to more babies coming in later in the year. Climate change, of course, is the number one reason. So animals are feeling comfortable. They're having a second litter or even a third litter. Year after year, we're seeing little changes, and we keep very good track of the trends. So we're seeing it more and more.
So what kind of babies do you have on site right now?
Right now, we just got the little bobcat in the end of August. We also just yesterday had some little tiny baby birds arrive. We also, just in the last week, got baby raccoons in. So we're seeing quite a bit, and lots of baby squirrels. The second round of the baby boom for squirrels has been large.
It's an incredible demand on the volunteers because it's hard. These are little babies. They need to be fed constantly. You know what babies are like.
Baby birds are, when they're really tiny, are every 15 minutes. So very labor intensive for sure. And, we're very blessed to have interns all summer. Those numbers drop in the fall and winter, and a lot of the young people that volunteer here go back to school. So it does make it a little more difficult for us.
Yeah, you're busy all year round. You wanted to say something to our viewers about being careful with trapping animals this time of year.
Exactly. You might logically think that it's fall now and we can trap to remove some animal that we no longer want on our property. But as you can see, it's not true. There could still be babies there. So we always recommend more gentler ways to get that animal to move along if it's living in an area that isn't working well for your home.
Well, let's talk about this baby bobcat. What do you know?
So this one came from the Cape Breton area. They watched it for close to 5 or 6 days. It was just hanging out on their property. It was very lethargic. And it's good that they called us because they really watched out for the mom for all that time period, and no mom was there. So we gathered the bobcat, brought it in. Only 1.5 kilograms, but since we've had it since August 30th to today, it's almost doubled its weight.
Wow. Well, certainly it seems to be feisty.
And the bobcat was feisty from the day that he arrived.
Well, that's what you want. You want the animal to be wild. So what's the next step after it grows up a little bit?
He's here right now until he stabilizes and is eating well on his own, and everything checks A-OK with our veterinarian. And then we'll move him to a much larger private unit way back on the property where he'll be able to learn bobcat behaviors, probably be wintering this one over, but he'll be with other bobcats.
How many animals do you get, actually?
We are 5% above our figures last year. We are thinking we'll finish the year at close to 7,000.
7,000 animals are rehabilitated through Hope for Wildlife. So this is the squirrel room. It seems very busy in here.
It is. For September, it's incredibly busy. And people work in here from 7 a.m. right through till midnight almost in the busy season.
Amazing. You've got it set up in such a way that you kind of work through the different ages and stages of squirrel.
Yes, it works out really well. We have our incubators for the really tiny baby squirrels that need the heat and moisture. And then we move once they're syringe feeding and doing quite well. And we go by weight as we progress. And then we move into them where they're a lot of bowl feeding. And from this stage, once they reach that magical weight, they go outside to our outside units.
Looks like this one here is going out very, very soon.
Yes, very busy. I think he's saying, let me out, I need to run.
He's ready.
He's ready, absolutely.
Well, now it's time to meet Jessie the bobcat. There's an interesting story there, isn't there, Hope?
There really is, and a good lesson, too, that, if you see an injured or orphaned wild animal, it's always good to get it in right away to a wildlife rehabber. Try not to make a pet out of it. Try not to get too close to it. Give us a call and we can handle it.
All right, well, let's meet Jessie now.
Absolutely.
All right, things have escalated quickly here, Hope. Now, this is not something the public would get to do. I'm just extra lucky today because I'm a journalist, but tell us Jessie's story.
So Jessie was raised by children at a very young age, eyes still closed. So that's when an animal can imprint, when they're just maybe a week old. And that's what happened in Jessie's case. When we received Jessie, we were very positive. We thought for sure we could wild Jessie up and get him back into the wild. Well, we tried for 3.5 years to get him wild, and that just didn't seem to want to happen. happen, as you can see. So we did make that hard decision to keep him here and asked DNR for permission to keep him, and we were allowed, and he's been here ever since. And I think he's enjoying his life.
Thank you so much for this tour today, Hope.
Thank you.
And we put the information about Hope for Wildlife on our website to make it easy for you to find. Thank you again. And Jessie, thank you. You are very, very personable.